Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Satta Spurana Saukhyani Bhasante Sarvavastushu Tasmad Brahmamayam Sarvam We have been looking at how the Jagat is non-separate from Brahman. Without Brahman, there is really nothing. It's all Brahman, Brahman, Brahman alone. And we have looked at Sat Chit Ananda, also here called as Satta, Spuranam, and Saukhyam. Really nice word, Saukhyam. Sukhasya bhava. A feeling of well-being, which is nice because most of the time everybody has a feeling of ill-being. But here, so well-being. It's very nice. Sattas Purana Saukhyani. So these three are the definition of Brahman. It's also known as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Same thing. Just to keep everybody awake. Different words are used, different modalities, exact same thing. That something is. Is means what? It exists. All the existence that we know of things exist in time, in place. That is what we think of all things. Exists means until how long does it exist? That's the next question to ask. And we cannot use any other words than Satta, is, and Sat, Asti. You cannot use any other word. If I used a special word for Brahman, nobody will understand. Pujya Swamiji had a special word. What was that? He would say, Gagabaga, something like that. He would just make up a word. What do you understand? Nothing. Nothing is understood. And so, the Shastra has to use the words which people do understand, but with a little twist. Existence, everybody understands. But what kind of existence do we know? Time-bound existence we know. The time-boundedness is cognitively removed. Why? Because we take the abstract, we abstract from existence its essence. Make it an abstract noun. Is, until it perishes. All the things, like a fruit. Banana, okay? Day 1, banana. Day 2, banana. Day 3, banana. You've kept it right on the counter. Day 4, na, I don't want it at all. Can't have it. Ba goes away by a special grammatical sutra. So, only na remains. That is the kind of existence we know. In fact, the word fruit is, the definition of the word fruit, the derivation is that which is subject to rotting. Phalgutaya liyate iti phalam. That which is subject to rotting is phalam. Then that which is subject to rotting is phalam, and so therefore everything that we know comes to an end. Except the one who is saying everything comes to an end. That's the only exception. So how does the Shastra convey the word is as being free of time? And that is because we take the abstract word, abstract sense of the word is. And what will that become? Isness. Isness. Is isness a word? Yes, isness is a word. Even if it isn't, now it is. Isness. Shastric word. Asti, satta. Isness means just the fact of being is, unqualified by time, space, object. Existence. Then we have the second word, consciousness. Consciousness means what? Knowledge. What is this knowledge? Knowledge, the word to know being a transitive verb, sakarmaka dhatu, then we have to ask knowledge of what? And then knowledge means who is the knower of this knowledge? How do you know this knowledge? Already we have this triad. Knower, known, means of knowing. So what is this knowledge referring to? This is the kind of knowledge we know. If we say, I know, then what is the object of the knowledge? And I, the knower, am different from that object of knowledge, and there is a means of knowing, whether through inference or pratyaksha, etc., etc. Pratyaksha means direct perception. All this is already there. So what to do now? So therefore, the same thing that was done to existence has to be done to the word jnanam. And what is the word jnanam here? Represented by spuranam. Spuranam, same thing. Spurti, spuranam. And in the Drigdrishya Viveka, asti and then bhati. Bha, to shine. And so, how do we rid this word to shine, to know, of its limitations attached to either being the knower or being the object of knowledge or being the means of knowledge? We see that as, again, an abstract noun, knowingness. A knowingness which we translate as consciousness. Knowingness is consciousness, and this consciousness is that which upholds the knower, which supports that which is known, which brings to light the connection between the two through the means of knowing. It is all three, but it is not any one of them. Without it, nothing exists. No knower can exist, no known can exist, no means of knowledge can exist, but itself is not any one of them. So the word saukhyam, happiness, the third word. So then the second word, of course, we have a knowingness, knowing being. Being sat, knowing chit, knowing being. And the last word, of course, causes a lot of problems, because again the happiness we know is just thimblefuls of happiness. Yeah, small, small happinesses and tiny, tiny experiences. Small happinesses. That is what we know. Small, small happiness, tiny, tiny experiences, discrete. If I am the enjoyer, then I am not the object of enjoyment. If I am the, then the object of enjoyment is separated from the means of enjoyment, and this way the happiness that one experiences is always finite, and that's why it comes to an end when, even before you say it comes to an end, it has ended. That's why the Taittiriya Shruti talks about it as Ananta, limitless. This is actually a little less charged than the word happiness. The word happiness is very charged because that is what everybody is looking for and everybody wants that. And this is a little, the word Ananta is a little less charged, and the word Ananta is what has to be understood to understand what this happiness is. When I say I am looking for happiness, what is it that I want? How long do I want to be happy? Forever. Nobody says, "Oh Lord, please give me 3.5 minutes of happiness." No one prays like that. No one in their right mind prays like that and says, "Please give me 5 minutes of happiness." I want to be happy when? Forever. So any object of happiness, what do I want? I want it to last forever and ever and ever. So really speaking, I don't want the happiness. The definition of happiness and the definition of forever are one and the same. What I want is forever. Limitless, without an end. And so limitless, the word Ananta removes the space-time dimensions of the other two words, Sat and Chit. You see how it does that? Limitless existence, limitless knowledge without morphing into knower, known, etc. No cut up little compartments at all. This is what one wants. It is in keeping with the human quest. And therefore, very, very special. Very special this knowledge is Ananta. And since Ananta is not understood, it is changed to Ananda. Because that is what everybody is mad after. So what is this Brahmananda? And sometimes you hear people say, and people writing in books also, what do they say? Oh, it's a special Ananda. It's not like any other Ananda that you have experienced. And I heard this somewhere once. One Mahatma was telling, what was that? It is an Ananda that drips from the head. Drips from the head, and you taste it in the back of the throat. I could only think of cerebrospinal fluid. Yeah. Dripping means what? Dripping from the head and tasting it at the back of the throat. Better get a checkup if that's what happens. Please go to the doctor immediately. Yeah. Let us entertain this for a minute and let us say Brahmananda is some dripping happening, like honey. They said it's even better than honey, it's just this wonderful taste. Let us say that. If that is what is there, then it cannot be limitless, because there was a time it is not, there was the time it will be, and there is another time it is not. So it cannot be limitless. Anantya hanihi, there is a loss of limitlessness. And then, if that alone is happiness, then what about ice cream happiness, chocolate cake happiness, walking happiness, job happiness, children happiness, marriage happiness, Vedanta happiness? Where will they all go? If that is only happiness, then unless you can attain this, then the whole life is wasted or something. And if Brahman is a special experience, in time, in place, it becomes naturally, totally finite. Brahmananda cannot be outside of what we call Ananda. It should include every happiness that is there. That is why the last 3 chapters of the Panchadashi are devoted to explaining this very, very thing. Vishayanande Brahmananda. One chapter is just on talking about this. Vishayanande means behind all object-derived, object-based happiness, actually I am tasting, appreciating, becoming happy because of Brahman. Then there is a certain joy in yoga, karma yoga or yogasana, whatever. Yoganande in a committed lifestyle. Yoganande Brahmananda. So that Yogananda, the Ananda that I feel from leading a disciplined life is not outside of the Ananda that I am seeking. Then there is also a joy connected to study. It is wonderful. Oh, today I have learnt many terminologies. Sat Chit Ananda is equal to Satyam Jnanam Anantam, is equal to Satta Spuranam Saukhya, is equal to ABP, Astivati Priyam. So many terminologies I have learnt. It is so wonderful. There is an Ananda there. There is a joy in learning, which is what keeps one coming back. Vidyanande Brahmananda. This Ananda called Brahman is not outside of the joy derived through learning, the joy derived through consuming things of delight, the joy derived through objects, the joy derived through disciplines like yoga and other such things. It cannot be outside of that. If it is outside of that, it will become finite. And I will not have a frame of reference. Why will I pursue something which I don't know what it is like? And so therefore, all this is Brahmananda alone. Any Ananda, from small Ananda to big Ananda, whatever one experiences in life is Brahmananda alone. But, how to complete this sentence? Brahmananda is not Vishayananda, is not Yogananda, is not Vidyananda, is not Ice Cream Ananda. This is what one has to understand. Every Ananda is not outside of the ken of Brahmananda, is included in Brahmananda, all right, but Brahmananda is not any one Ananda. Why? Because it is limitless. It is free. The only way, that is one thing. Second thing, the only way we know of understanding, experiencing Ananda is as an enjoyer. I enjoy this and I am the enjoyer. That is why it is finite. Enjoyer is finite, everything is finite, and this is what is talked about in the 15th, the last chapter of the Panchadashi. In the 15th chapter, this is what is talked about. That the Ananda, so first thing is that I am not whole when I enjoy something as a separate being, separate from the object of enjoyment. It will by necessity be a truncated experience. It will not be a wholesome, it will not be something wholesome. Why? Because the enjoyer is separated from the object of enjoyment, and therefore it will not be the same, it will not be one. And so what to do? Therefore, how can I enjoy all of Brahman? No other way other than understanding I am Brahman. Understanding I am Brahman, this want to be a miserable bhokta, having discrete objects of enjoyments is totally gone. Completely gone. Fully gone it is. Why? Because what is this Brahman? Purna. Purna means limitless, forever. Knowing myself to be limitless, I am not wanting anything in order to become full, either stomach-wise or experience-wise. There is nothing away from me. It's all me. It's all mine. And so therefore, there is nothing left to experience. This is what is totally understood. And that is what is Brahmananda, knowing that everything in the world that is an object of experience is myself alone. All the subjects who like various objects, They are all myself alone. And people like strange things. Yeah, strange things. There is a fruit, durian. Yes. And there was a wonderful Vietnamese monk of Zen Buddhism called Thich Nhat Hanh. And he wrote, he was leading meditation. Somebody came late, not only they came late, but then he brought this big basket of durian and kept it right in front of him. He said it tested his titiksha. He had to stop the meditation and send it out because it's a fruit with a very, very strong, pungent smell. It is like the grandfather of jackfruit. And jackfruit itself is, many people do not enjoy, but then this durian, that's why it's called durian. There should be durian, means distance between myself and the fruit. It is aptly named. So people like strange things. And without that I am incomplete. I have to have this, I have to have that. It's not there at all. That strange thing is also included in Brahmananda. Everything is included in Brahmananda. And what is the problem here? The problem is not of being a pursuer of Ananda. This is the shift that takes place in this knowledge. If I am a pursuer of Ananda, I will only get little scraps. Even if I go to heaven, I will just get scraps. No, how can you say heaven is a wonderful place? Yes. And you sit there, what do? I want to look at God. ठीक है, how long you will look? And there also, all kinds of, the mind will create mischief. What kind of mischief? If you are looking at the front of God, you want to see, you are not seeing the back. Then you want to see the back of God. Then you do a pradakshina to see if He has another head on the other side. 3D view. And then after pradakshina, again you have to rush to your seat because somebody may take your seat. And so that fear is there. Why these issues, this smallness has not been resolved. Anybody can go to heaven. Not a big deal. Then you rush to your seat, you sit there. And then what? Again you are distracted. Or kaun aaya hai? You look to see who else has come. Oh my God, this fellow, how did this fellow make it here? How did this person make it here? Gossip monger, adharmik, terrible person. How did he? I need answers. Sevak, some heaven sevak. Yeah. How did Indra allow this person to come? Ask this Panditji who had gone to heaven. Panditji was a kathakar. Kathakar means telling stories of Lord Krishna. Whole life vegetarian, telling stories, that's all he did. Went to temples. And when he first landed in the heaven hall, he was very happy. Yes, I have got what I deserved. This whole life has of prayer, worship, and just cleaning my mouth with doing the tales of the Lord has paid off. Until he saw the Gunda. Gunda means dacoit, who terrorized everybody. By day he had some kind of a business, shady, and at night, in the shade of the night, he did all kinds of things, terrible things. Panditji was livid. He said, this person doesn't belong here. There must be a mistake. The sevak in heaven said, we don't make mistakes. No, I need to talk to the boss. Where is Indra? Indra comes. And then he says, a great injustice has been carried out. You have to write this. Look at this man. Do you know his antecedents? Do you know what all he has done on earth? How he has, why is he here? How he has behaved, do you know? And then Indra says, well, let me look at his record. It says over here that he brought many people to God. What? That was me. No, that wasn't you. Who came? The people who were already elderly. And if they had stayed at home, they would have had to babysit the grandchildren. So they escaped to the temple and slept there. Throughout your katha, they slept. Now this man actively brought people to God. How? Whenever he was on the road, everybody said, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." And they remembered Bhagavan and they started to pray. So you see, even going to heaven, you are not happy. If heaven is a separate experience other than you, if that is how it is, you're not happy. Happiness is not centered on the object, on the experience. Happiness is neither outside nor inside. Inside means where will I look, Is it in the stomach? Is it in the lungs? Is it in the kidneys? Is it in the pancreas? Not right to say inside. Happiness is centered on the I. If happiness is centered on the I, then everything starts to make a lot of sense. That's why the same object which is an object of love, suddenly I develop distaste for it. Somebody gives you ice cream, you love ice cream, but you're having the flu. Will you welcome the ice cream? Absolutely not. Take it away. I have a sore throat, I feel chilled, and I feel sick. Same thing. Anything that you want to enjoy has to have the person who is enjoying must be present. If you are distracted, you cannot enjoy. And the means of enjoyment must be intact. If the stomach is upset, even if the best thing is brought to you, you feel sick. And the mind also is a mean mode of enjoyment if the mood is off. Ice cream you love, hungry you are. It sounds good, but you've just had a terrible fight with the significant other. You don't want the ice cream all of a sudden. And so, this is exactly what proves the point that happiness is centered on oneself. Everything becomes lovable because the happiness is centered on I, and the self happens to be already lovable. Since I don't know this, I keep searching to be united with objects of love. This is what we have to this is how we have to revamp our definition of Ananda, called here as Saukhya. With this, we can look at the verse. Satta, Spurana, Saukhyani. These three, Satta, Spurana and Saukhya. And then Bhasante. Bhasante means obtain, shine, are evident. Sarva vastushu, in all objects. All objects are a combination of 5 things. Satta, Spurana, Saukhya are 3 things. What are the other 2 things? Namarupa. Namarupa, name and form, word and meaning. The word and meaning becomes very happy and alive with the presence of the first 3. Satyam Jnanam Anantam, Sat Chit Ananda, Asti Bhati Priyam, Satta Spurana Saukhyani. Same thing. The Namarupas become animated and start to dance, and you have the puppet show called the Jagat. You have a puppet show. Why? Because otherwise the Namarupas cannot move on their own. Chit, consciousness, makes them move. Sat gives them the title that, okay, this such and such exists. Saukhya makes them an object of happiness, either by their presence or, in case of cockroaches, snakes, etc., by their absence. Certain things are beloved because of their presence. Certain other things are beloved Duriyan, when you have a distance between you and them. And so, bhasante sarva vastushu, they shine, means they are evident. How are they evident? Because this is what it is. It is evident because a thing exists. It shines means it comes to light. By what? By that consciousness which is objectifying it. And even though the nama rupa is finite, that which is infinite continues even after the nama rupa is gone. Same thing with the human upadhi, with every upadhi. And so, bhasante sarva vastushu tasmat sarvam brahmamayam. There is a song, Sarvam brahmamayam re re. Very nice song. Brahmamayam, the word maya, it's not a word, a suffix. Maya has many meanings, 3 to be precise. First meaning, vikara, modification. Vikare mayat. Second meaning, prachuryarthe mayat. Prachurya means preponderance. These 2 are the common meanings. Then lesser used one meaning is there, swarthe mayat, in its own sense. So which meaning will fit here? Everything is a modification of Brahman. If we say that, then that means what? Brahman is subject to modification. And then if we say everything is mostly Brahman, that means there is a little bit of the things which are not Brahman. That also won't fit. We have to take the last meaning, swarthe, meaning it's nothing other than Brahman. It's all Brahman all the time in all situations. So the Jagat is Brahman, Brahman is not the Jagat. This we have to understand. Okay, I understand that about the Jagat. But how can I understand this about myself? The next verse is going to tell us. Avastha tritayam yasya krida bhumitaya sthitam tadeva brahma janiyat. So, how to make this knowledge my own? Because the way in which Satchidananda is in all things, you cannot separate. You cannot say Namarupa, go to one side. Satchidananda, here, this is Sat, this is Chit, this is Ananda. Not possible. How am I going to know? I know it through my own life experiences. Who said Vedanta doesn't talk about experience? It talks about experience. In fact, the most intimate experience. What is the most intimate experience? Sleep. Yeah. That which happens effortlessly in Vedanta class. Sleep. Universal. And immediate practical experience. Right here, right then. Sleeping. And then when you're not sleeping, what are you doing? Hello? If you're not sleeping, what are you doing? Waking. And then if you're neither sleeping nor waking, what are you doing? Dreaming. These are three very immediate and intimate experiences that are universal. You go ask anybody in any country, they don't say, in our country we don't dream. In other countries, please go and ask. Universal. So, avastha tritayam. So, tritayam means the group of 3. Threefold. So, tritayam, group of 3 avasthas, states of experience are there. 3 states of experiences are there. For whom? Yasya. For which person? Who is that person? Me. And then, what are these three states of experience? Those are what? Various timeshares in various places. Like the person says, I want to have a place by the water, Florida, buys a timeshare. Timeshare means, you don't own the thing. You just, give some money and you are entitled to go there for 1 week every year or 2 weeks every year. Kind of like Arshavidya timeshare is there, yes. They don't call it that, but they say you give way, you become a patron and you give a certain amount every year. And then you can have a free week. You can have a free retreat. So, timeshare. So somebody says, but most people don't want to come to places like this. They want to go by the water to play water sports. So somebody has a timeshare in Florida. And then the person has extra money and then they say, I also like the snow, not just the water. Where shall we send them? Colorado, yes. Aspen, yes. So they go to Aspen, they have a timeshare in a place called Aspen. Very beautiful it is. So they buy a timeshare in Aspen. And then, where else then they say, I also like the desert and the mountains. Very nice. Where shall we send them? Yes, Sedona. Let's send them to Sedona, Arizona. Oh, but how are they going to afford it? It's their money, don't worry. Yeah. It's not your problem. Yeah. It's their money. Let them pay for it. So now how many timeshares are there? 3. The person is the person originally is from some landlocked state where there is neither mountains, nor desert, nor snow, nor water. Once I was giving this example, and then I said, okay, let's say they are from Kansas. And there was actually a couple from Kansas. Then I stopped giving that example. So then the person goes to play along with their family in Florida. They make sand castles, they have a good time. They play on the beach, they go for nice walks, and then what? They come back. Then the next time they get a vacation, they go to Arizona. They go to Arizona for part of the winter. Then they go to Aspen for the next part of the winter, and they really have a very nice time. What is the point of this story? Get to the point. The point of the story is that in each place, they meet some people. And then since they are so happy and jovial, everybody likes to talk to them. Oh, are you from here? They are asked when they are in Florida. They say, no, we are from somewhere else. We are just visiting. Then in Arizona also they are asked the same thing. When did you move here? No, we didn't move here. We don't belong here at all. We are from that place. Same thing happens in Colorado. When are you moving here? Did you already move here? No. My home is elsewhere. I am just a visitor. If this is understood, then replace Florida with waking state, replace Arizona with sleep state, replace Aspen with dream state. Am I stateless? No, you have home. You are not any of these 3 things. You are just a visitor. But where is my home? In the example, it was clear where my home was. But where is my home in that which is exemplified? Your home is with Om. Om is home. That is what your home is. Being at home with yourself, you play in the waking state. The waking state promises a lot of sports, lot of play. You can play being a sad jiva. In the waking state, you can play the role of a sad jiva, miserable, oh, so tired, exhausted, so much to do, terrible. A complaining jiva's role you play in the waking state, and then you play the role of a sound sleeper in the sleep state. You are Ishvara, nothing but Ishvara. Prajnaha, prakarshena ajnaha. You are nothing, you are not even there. The individuality is not there. There is only samashti. You are included in that total. Where? Don't say Arizona. In the sleep state. Then finally, in the dream state also, there is a lot of play. Dreams are very interesting. And you enjoy the dream. But what are you? And then, of course, the desire is to say, I am the fourth state. What is the fourth state? Turiya, short for Chaturiya. There is no fourth state at all. Then why is it called that? It's called that because the Shastra goes along with our ajnanam. It goes along with our, ignorance. And to just keep us, to meet us where one is, it says fourth state. But there's only three states. And the person who is playing in all these three states is what? Not belonging to any state, but yet without whose presence there is no state. That we have to also understand. That cannot be covered by the example. Because in the example, if the person doesn't go to Florida, that doesn't mean Florida stops existing. Examples are always limited, because how can we use finite examples to illustrate the infinite? But we take it because the example helps us. We take it with a pinch of salt. We take it as far as we can drag it, and then we can let go of the example and understand what it is trying to convey. Without me, there is no waking experience. Waker is me. The whole entire waking experience and the waker is myself alone. And without me, can there be a sleeping experience? No. Without me, there cannot be any dream. And so, therefore, this shows what? I inhabit these states and animate them through my inhabiting these states. I inhabit and animate these states. And once I inhabit and animate these states, they become places of fun. Lot of fun. But if I think each place to be a permanent state, then I am in a state. This is what has to be understood. Further, the waker and the dreamer and the sleeper do not exist in a vacuum. They are all within the samashti. Samashti means the total. The waker is relating to something. What is the waker relating to? The waking world. The waker relates to the waking world. Like in the example, if the person goes to Florida, it's not that they are alone. There is shops, there are people, everything is set up. So similarly, the waker relates to the waking world. The waking world, Ishvara. The manifest universe, what the physicists call as the ever-expanding universe, Ishvara. And the waker is Vishwa, Vividha Pratyaya Gamyam, Vishwa. And then Virat. Virat is the name for Ishvara, manifest as the waking world, of all names and forms. This is all there in the Mandukya Upanishad, from which this has been taken. This verse number, what is the verse number? 36? Yeah. So verse number 36 has been taken directly, pinched from the Mandukya Upanishad. So the waker does not live in a vacuum, relates to the waking world of all names, forms, experiences, everything. And both are Ishvara, really. Both are Brahman. From the standpoint of Vyashti, the individual, Brahman gets the name. What is the name? Vishwa. From the standpoint of the total, the name is changed. Virat. Same thing with the sleep. The sleep is there and the individual kind of ceases to be, ceases to be himself, herself as a separate entity. Prajnaha is the name for the individual sleeper. Prakarshena Ajnaha, the one who doesn't know anything. Because when you get up, what do you say? I slept so well, I don't even know anything. Prajnaha. And then on the other side, on the Samashti level, Ishvaraha. Prajna and relating to what? Ishvara, one with Ishvara. The dream is again a creation, a potential creation. Taijasa is the name for the individual dreamer, but the individual dreamer is not dreaming in a vacuum. When the dream comes, what kind of dream comes is all determined by Bhagavan. When it folds up is all determined by Bhagavan. And so, Taijasa, individual dreamer, relating to Hiranyagarbha, the potential to create. That knowledge and potential to create, Ishvara, in the form of the one endowed with the potential to create, Hiranyagarbha. So basically, even though it is my own experience, it's an intimate experience, sleeping, dreaming, waking, intimate, personal experience, but it is not taking place in a vacuum. It's all connected. This is what is oneness. It is all connected, nay, it is all one. So what are these three states of experiences? Playgrounds. Just like we saw in the example of the timeshare. Playground. In each place, you play. So the person who has a timeshare in Florida goes and plays water sports. The same person then in the winter goes to Colorado and plays games, winter sports games, skiing, etc. Person goes to Arizona and then what? What will they do in Sedona? Have a clay bath, whatever it is. Some wellness retreat they go to. That's also a kind of a play. So this in the example, in the same way in the exemplified, this is what has to be remembered. Now, because of our experiences in the world, it is very easy to, we'll start with a dream first. It's very easy to falsify the dream state. Upon waking, it's gone. Swakale satyavat bhati. In its time, it looks real. Prabodhe sati asad bhavet. When you wake up in the morning, it is falsified. Then you laugh at yourself. What a funny dream. What a silly dream. It will never happen. I will never win a lottery except in the dream. You can laugh at yourself and you can go on with the day. Similarly, the sleep state also can be falsified easily. You can come out of it, and when you come out of it, you can say, I was asleep, I didn't know anything, now I am back in action. And we have to do the same thing, the Shastra says, with the waking state as well. The waking state, unfortunately, because of its association with Atma Ajnanam, becomes a permanent residence. Don't try to get citizenship in the waking state. That is a recipe for samsara. Absolute recipe for samsara and sorrow. And this is what the verse is telling us. Don't try to get permanent residency, citizenship, green card, etc. in the waking state. This is not your home. Just like the sleep state is not your home, the waking state is also not your home. And just like the dream state is not your home, you don't live in the dream. Similarly, that which is you, and what is this you? Satchidananda Brahmatma. You, this is not your home. What is it? Krida Bhumi, playground. It is a playground where you can don a sad face and play the role of a samsari. That's what you can do. Knowing that it is a drama. The whole thing is a drama. And we think that Shakespeare must have studied some Vedanta. What did he say? All the world is a stage. Men and women are but actors. So it's just a drama. Everything is a drama. Sometimes the drama overcomes you. Sometimes you are in charge of the drama. Sometimes the drama runs your life. That's why there is an expression, drama king, drama queen. When do I know that this is a drama? How do I know that this is a drama? When there is more and more of Rama in my life, I can drop the drama. Yes. Less drama, more Rama in the waking state. Then it is very, very clear. So, let us look at the verse, what it says. Avastha tritayam yasya brahmanaha. For which Brahman, this tritayam, threefold avastha, states, krida bhumitaya sthitam. Sthitam is or presents itself as krida bhumitaya, in the form of a playground. Krida, play, bhumi, ground. In the form of a playground. This is a particular use of the third case, itham bhute tritiya. So, in that which manifests in the form of a playground, what is that? The three states which manifest in the form of a playground for whom? Know that to be Brahman. Know that to be Brahman. That itself is Brahman. This is the declaration of Vedanta. So, what does that mean? One recognizes Brahman as the threefold state. What is the waking state? This is very disappointing. After telling the answer, still it doesn't come. What is the waking state? What is the sleeping state? What is the dream state? Brahman. What is the waker? Brahman. What is the sleeper? Brahman. Dreamer also Brahman. Everything is Brahman. That's the idea. It's just a playground. The playground is Brahman. The one who is playing in the playground is also Brahman. This is what has to be internalized. And then the next couple of verses are interesting. We'll just read them and go through them briefly because we still have some ground to cover left. They are interesting because they talk about using logic to help ourselves distinguish between what is Brahman and what is not. How to tell. Okay? And so 2 verses are there. Let us chant. Yannādau yacca nastyante tanmadhye bhatamapyasat अतो मिथ्या जगत् सर्वम्. Yeah. The next one. Now let's do this one first. So we'll do that. Yat na adau. Yat adau na. What is not there in the beginning? Yat adau na asti. What is not there in the beginning? And then yat cha, and also which, ante, at the end, na asti, nasti. That which is not there in the beginning and that which is not there at the end, what can we conclude about that? It is not there at all. That is where he wants us to go with this conclusion. So that which is not there at the beginning, and we'll see what the beginning and end mean. That which is not there in the beginning, that which is not there at the end, tat, that thing, madhye bhatam. Let us say it appears in the middle. It is not there when? In the beginning. It is not there at the end. But suddenly it makes an appearance in the middle. And so what is it? Asat. Asat doesn't mean non-existent. That which is of a dependent reality. We have talked about mithya at length. So that which is of a dependent reality. As good as non-existent, because it relies on another source. Therefore, it is missing in the beginning. It is MIA, missing in action at the end, and somewhere it is there in the middle. And when it shines, when it is evident in the middle, then what? It is as good as not there. That also, since it is not present at all the time, then we can totally negate its appearance in the middle. Ataha mithya. Ataha, therefore, sarvam mithya. Sarvam jagat mithya. Mithya means what? Dependent reality. Don't say non-existent, don't say delusion, illusion, etc. Okay? That which is deluded is not mithya. When I say mithya is delusion, I am the one being deluded. Okay? Mithya is sat, really. It's non-separate from sat. Sat is not mithya. This we have to understand. So now it is very clear what is the it that is being referred to, which was there, not there in the beginning and not there at the end, and suddenly made an appearance. What is that? Sarvam Jagat, in the second line. The Jagat is not there, forget beginning and end, okay? Jagat was not there, correct? It wasn't there. When? In between cycles of creation, it is not there. So before the cycle of creation, it wasn't there. After Pralaya, again it is not there. Suddenly it has inserted itself and is shining right in the middle, and that shiningness of it is also to be understood as a reality, as an empirical reality for which it is dependent on Brahman alone. This is the drumbeat of Vedanta. More we'll see later. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.